Hello. Oh, did you guys hear that? Fred said hello. And she and I guess Uncle Buck, would love to welcome you to today's Yin Yoga practice. We're going to get started in just about 3 minutes on the floor. So you've got some time to make some space for yourself. Oh, I love to light a candle before yin so that it smells really nice, so that I'm encouraged to take some extra deep breaths. So perhaps you'll think about lighting a candle or some incense, or maybe opening a window, getting some fresh air, making yourself a cup of tea that you can just sit and sip as we relax into the moment. Get started. I'm going to give Fred some snacks. I'm going to give my birdie some snacks. Yeah. Hi. Hey, girlfriend. Fred, I wish you would talk more for the people. That wasn't nice. Okay, so just a couple minutes. Can I go grab my other timer? We'll start in a comfortable seated position of your choice. Think about perhaps bringing a block or a pillow or a folded up towel or blanket, something that you can sit on to give yourself a little extra lift, especially if your hips are really tight. If you sit down and you feel like it's hard to relax, or you're finding a lot of rounding in your back and your knees are coming up towards your armpits, sitting on that chair can help you create some length in your spine. By chair, I meant cushion, towel, block, Okay. Ah, there we go. Now it's lovely in here. All right, I'm just going to make sure everything is streaming okay on the interwebs. You still got just about 2 minutes till we get started, so maybe get up, move around, find the stretches that feel good for your body today. I'm over here wiggling my shoulders about. There we go. Things look like they're working. Ah, awesome sauce, Uncle Buck. Are you going to sit down and be good somewhere? That would be great. Move, move, move. All right, so get out any sort of shakes, movement, dance moves, be as weird as you want for one last minute, because we're going to do our best to really find stillness, find some slow movement and breath for the next 45 minutes. I'm wearing my favorite shirt today. One of my favorite things about this shirt says, difficult, difficult, lemon, difficult. The opposite of the idea, easy peasy lemon squeezy, is that Amazon accidentally sent me two of them when I found it. And they were like, you know what, girl, you keep it. And I did. And I wear them both. All right, let's do this, y'all. Hello, it's me, Jessica, your health fitness program manager from McLean. I'm here with my very needy dog who's had a very hard week, and together we're going to enjoy some stillness, right, Uncle Buck, as we get into this Yin Yoga practice. So starting off in Sukhasana, in a comfortable seated position of your choice. I'm in a modified version of success in meditation. So I have one foot in front of the other, in front of my center line. But remember, you can always lift yourself up onto a block. And if this doesn't feel comfortable for you, maybe kick those feet out. Maybe kick one foot out. Start to relax your shoulders away from your ears. And as you do that, find some length through the crown of your head. So starting sitting up nice and tall, you can have your hands on your knees or maybe a little closer back towards your thighs with elbows drawing towards the back of the room to keep that chest lifted, to make sure that you're not collapsing here through that chest. So do your best to stack your head over your heart, stacking those shoulders on top of the hips. And we're going to enjoy 2 more minutes just working to create that stillness. So give yourself some grace if you're having trouble sitting completely still. As the class starts, maybe you're starting to notice some tension in your body. That's normal. I want to bring to you the idea of repeating a relaxing mantra in your head throughout this class. And if it's totally not for you, that's okay. If you're like, what? Maybe give it a try. Perhaps you have a personal mantra that you are working on, something that you tell yourself to let go of the stress and tension in life. And so just work towards feeling good. And if you have that personal mantra, I encourage you to repeat it as you focus on your breath today. And if you don't have a mantra, let's all take in the idea that I am enough and I'm worthy of this self time or self care or me time or however you want to say it. But let's go ahead and repeat that phrase 2 times. So finding that length, a little lift of your heart center. Keep that breath nice and slow. As you inhale, think, I am enough. I am worth investing in this me time. Once more, inhale in. I am enough. I'm worth investing in this me time. So good. All right, next up, we're going to give ourselves some gentle little neck circles. So start with a nice small range of motion. Maybe you keep the neck circles towards the front of your body instead of dropping your head back. Maybe you find a spot that feels particularly tense or sticky and you just hang out there for a few extra seconds, a few extra breaths as you remind yourself, I am enough and I am so worth this me time. It's normal if you feel any crunching or cracking. Sometimes I hear that sound like you're crinkling up paper in your hand as I take these neck rolls towards the back and side. Go back. You're so needy right now. Awesome. I want you to keep this nice lift. Maybe you change which leg you have in front or on top in your seated position. We're just going to be seated like this a little bit longer. I want you to bring your hands palms together at the center of your chest. Press your hands palms together and then open your hand up like a lotus flower blooming. So your elbows gently start to stretch down towards the floor. You're still lifting through the crown of your head. Go ahead and take a gentle tuck of your chin towards your chest. And feel free to close your eyes, especially if you've had them open this whole time. As we work to create total stillness, remember that if your eyes are moving, your body is moving, your mind is moving. So working to create that full stillness by relaxing your eyes. Inhale in, I am enough. Maybe I am amazing and I'm so worth taking this me time. All right, on your next inhale, bring your hands palms together. Lift yourself up if you rounded forward at all. Exhale, start to send those arms up to the ceiling. They're going to pass just over your head. And we're going to interlace our fingers behind our necks. And you can release your thumb and give yourself a little massage on the side of the neck. Lifting up that heart chakra, draw that belly in to keep that back supported and feeling good as you open your elbows to the side as much as feels right for you today. You can even stretch your eyes, or even with eyes closed, just lifting with the nose, the chin up towards the ceiling. Take 3 more breaths here. I am amazing, and I am so worth this time right now. Good. One more inhale. Keep that chest lifted. Stretch those arms up, and as you exhale, arms come down to the side, or you can bring them right to your knees. I want you to stretch your fingers down towards the floor. Decrease the space gently between your lower ribs and your hips. Pay no attention to Uncle Buck, who is being gross right now. Uncle Buck, go find your own seated position somewhere. Think of yourself as being in a seated version of cat. Really find that rounding through your back, a little separation of the shoulders. We're going to hang out here for 2 minutes. So you can apply, oops, sorry, buddy. You can apply a little bit of pressure from maybe your wrist or your hands, palms onto that knee. Start that total body scan, head to toe. Ask yourself where you can relax. Where do you feel tense? I noticed my shoulders, it crept back up towards my ears. That's their happy spot when I'm feeling a little stressed. But I don't want to feel a little stressed. So I want to encourage that relaxation, that extra little bit of space. Yes, I love you, Mr. Doggy. All right, we got 1 more minute left. If you're joining me for the first time this week, Uncle Buck has had a very hard week. Little man had 5 teeth removed on Monday, and we've switched to a soft food diet, and it is disgusting to watch him eat it, and it's also upset his stomach. He loves the taste of it, though, don't you? Yes, you do. All right, let's go ahead. Inhale those arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring your left hand down behind you as you turn and look over your left shoulder. As your fingers come down towards the floor, press into those fingers to find that extra little lift of the chest. You don't have to go too deep in this spine twist. Find something that feels sustainable, and we're going to hang out here for just about 1 minute, I believe. On your next inhale, we're going to slowly bring both of those arms all the way back up towards the ceiling, ground through your sit bones, and then exhale, twist to the opposite side. So this time, right hand comes behind you, left hand maybe comes in front, or on top of your knee. Press into your fingers on the floor. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Draw your belly in and look over your right shoulder. Great job. On the next inhale, send those arms all the way up again. Exhale, bring both hands down behind you. Uncross your legs. I'm sorry, Uncle Buck. Go ahead, plant the soles of both feet down on the floor. Just about hips width distance apart. Maybe a little wider if you're accommodating for your pet. I have my fingers pointing towards the side walls. Put them wherever feels good for you. Press into those hands palms. You should take a big lift of the chest. Squeeze shoulder blades together. Allow that head to drop back. Stay here for 2 more breaths. Keep them slow, intentional. And on your exhale, bring your chin back towards your chest. I'm pointing my fingers forward now. I'm walking my hands a little bit further back, whichever side you'd like to start with. I always like to take any sort of compression move into the right side first to hit your ascending colon. So I encourage you to use that right leg first, no matter what it looks like I'm doing. Cross your right leg over your left, and we're coming into a seated figure 4 stretch. So to feel that in your hips, turning my fingers towards the back of the room and walking yourself up to bring your belly more towards your thighs. But try not to intentionally bring your thigh to your belly. You're still doing your best to bring your 2 knees in one line. Amazing. We're staying here for 2 minutes. We're already in that first minute. So still working to find a little lift from your heart chakra. Remember, if at any point any of these stretches go from feeling noticeable, maybe a little uncomfortable, into feeling painful, take the time to gently back your way out. Use your breath still and find a new spot where you can just hold on. So maybe you have your hands further towards the back of the room. Maybe you're not quite as lifted in your chest. Maybe your 2 knees are not coming in one line, and that's okay. Because remember, I am enough. I'm so proud of myself for coming here today. I'm worth this time. I am amazing. And I'm so worth including this in my day. Last 2 breaths here on this side. All right, carefully walk your hands back. So that you can uncross your legs. Maybe even take a moment, come off your hands. Shake them out. but I guess I didn't. All right, yeah, so just shake your hands out. Your windshield wipe your knees a little bit. And then let's come into the same thing in the opposite direction. So walk those hands behind you, cross your opposite leg over, and make sure that there's some room to make some circles with your ankles. Not that you have to, just that you're not jamming your ankle bone against the top of your thigh. And then walk your hands in. Find a comfortable place to place your hands. Maybe have your hands on that prop that you were sitting on earlier. Bring that lift towards your chest. Remember, you're working to stretch that bent figure four knee to bring your two knees in one line, but then you're also working to gently bring your chest, belly closer towards your thigh. Hey, Mr. Doggy. We're going to spend one more minute right here, so you get as cozy as you want. I promise I won't. Use that breath. Come back to your mantra. I am amazing. I'm so worth making this time for myself today. Hopefully, each time that you have said whatever version of whatever you're saying to yourself, something positive, you believe it even more. Because when you believe it, you can achieve it. Just thinking of ways you can bring the yoga from the mat into your real life. And positive affirmations may sound so silly, but if you tell yourself that you've got this, that you can work through whatever your problem is, if you find a way to put it in the positive and you just keep telling yourself that same amazing positive thing, then you'll start to believe it. I promise. Because we are so much of what our thoughts are. So let's try and keep some of those thoughts on the up and up. All right. Go ahead, come on off of your hands. We're going to shift the weight and come onto our knees for some kneeling. If kneeling is really uncomfortable for you, think about placing your soft towel or a pair of socks right beneath the bend of your knee. Or, of course, I don't have any yoga. Oh, here's one. Or taking your yoga block and placing that between you so that there's a little bit less pressure on the back of the legs. You can be kneeling right here. And while we're here, we're just going to make some circles with our wrists. In one direction. Go ahead, change direction of your wrist circles. Maybe you give yourself some neck circles again. Why not? You are amazing. You're so worth this time right now. Like, you're amazing. All right. Next, we're going to get a big back bend in. We don't usually do a lot of back bends together, but let's do some camel, some Ustrasana. So go ahead, press yourself up to kneeling. I'll turn this way because I know my other shoulder's a little tight. And we're going to bring our hands towards our lower back. So think about the way that you would place your hands in your jeans pockets, but then think about those jeans as being super mom jeans from the 80s, and those pockets are just a little bit higher. High-waisted mom jeans, so that your hands are on the lower back, just underneath of your ribs, in the area that probably needs the most support. Now you can take a little tent of your feet here. So maybe your knees are out a little bit wider than your toes are, but I want you to press your knees, your shins into the mat. Start squeezing your glutes and keeping those hips forward. So the best that you can, keep your hips stacked on top of your knees. Try not to bring your glutes closer towards your heels. Next up, you're going to stretch your eyes, nose, chin up towards the ceiling, and take a big lift of your chest by squeezing your elbows towards each other. So maybe you're applying a little bit of pressure in that lower back, and then use your breath here too. So use that inhale to lift up through your chest, and use that exhale to squeeze your shoulder blades together. Check back in with those hips, stacking them on top of your knees as best as you can, squeezing those glutes. Let's move through one more time. So inhale, lift up your chest. Exhale, squeeze your elbows towards each other, push your hips forward. Look back with your eyes for 3, 2, keep breathing. 1. Use that breath. Inhale, slowly lift yourself up. Exhale, sit your glutes down on your heels. Start to stretch your fingers forward and come on into child's pose. You can open your knees. Oh, you're so mean. As wide as you want, or you can keep those knees close and get some compression on your belly. Allow your head to come down towards the floor. And you can either stay active through the upper back by tenting your fingers, or if your shoulders are saying, I have had enough, which mine are saying, then you can always bend your elbows. I'm just tucking my shirt into my pants. You can always bend your elbows, or if your shoulders are still like, no, thank you, ma'am, then you can send your hands all the way towards the back of the mat and let those shoulders separate. Come back to that nice slow breath and tell yourself, I am amazing. I am so worth this time right now. I am amazing. I'm so worth this time right now. Let's enjoy one more minute right here. Melt into that mat. Take your time. Bring your hands, palms right underneath the chest and shoulders. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Press yourself up. Oh, you're so cute. Come on into tabletop. Hey, great. We're going to do some fun wrist stuff here from tabletop. Let's first start off though. Show that back some love. Exhale, press yourself all the way up into cat. Inhale, bring that belly down into cow. Or just keep breathing and moving. Awesome. Okay, let's take a seat. Let's take a seat in a kneeling position for a sec. Shake your wrist out. So I have been noticing some real discomfort in my joints lately. Maybe it's an odd ergonomic position. Maybe it's the booster. Maybe it's the vid. Who knows? I will get tested later, I promise. Um, But I found that just being in tabletop is really uncomfortable. If you're in a regular class and you need to be in tabletop and it's hurting your wrist, think about coming into tabletop as fists. So let's just start off right here, making a fist and pressing those knuckles down in towards the floor. Make sure you're not sinking into those shoulders, just hanging out. And hopefully already, if you're having any sort of wrist pain, you can feel that this feels a little bit better. You can do so many workouts from right here in tabletop with your fists. So that's idea number one. Okay, so now go ahead, bring those hands palms back to the floor. Spread your fingers wide. Take a big inhale, press into your hands. Knit that rib cage together, nice flat back. And exhale, we're going to gently lean forward. So bring in those fingertips forward. Sorry, bringing your shoulders forward towards your fingertips. Maybe you're struggling there. Maybe you need to bring your hands back just a little bit. I know my elbows overextend. So if you are hyper flexible as well while you're doing this, think about trying to keep those elbow creases shining towards each other instead of towards the front of the mat. And if you're like, what? Don't worry. Don't worry. It doesn't hurt. It's just, when you are super flexible, it's really important to just think about building the strength and not just leaning on that hyper flexibility. I know this is challenging. We're sticking here for 30 more seconds, just about 2 or 3 super slow mindful breaths. Make sure you're not sinking into those shoulders. And on your exhale, sit your glutes back on your heels. Lift those hands up off the floor. Just shake them out. Oof. Maybe awkward waves. Maybe making some waves. Maybe just opening and closing your fist. Little baby waves. All right, let's come back into tabletop. This time, turn your hands palms towards so that your fingers point towards your knees. You might need to shorten your quote unquote step again. Press the bottom of your wrist into the mat and exhale to bring your glutes a little closer towards your heels. And unless you have your fingers all the way towards your knees, you're probably not going to get your glutes towards your heels. But it's okay. Whatever works for you. You can find maybe a little bit more range of motion to get that flexion in the wrist in the opposite direction if your hands are a little further forward. Just about 30 seconds left right here. All right, to come out of this one, lift your glutes off of your heels, turn your hands around, and then sit yourself back down. Oopsie doodles. Shake out those wrists again. We got one more awesome wrist stretch. So this time, fingers are going to point in towards each other as we come back into tabletop. We'll get a little bit of movement here. As you stretch to bring one shoulder closer to the top of the wrist and then the other shoulder. Keep pressing the hand palm down, so try not to let the bottom of your hand lift up off of the mat. Just getting a little bit both directions at the same time. You can try this if you want to flip your hands in the opposite direction. So hands nice and wide. Ooh, yeah. Oh my gosh, that is something different. For the last 30 seconds, my fingers are gently coming off of my mat. Great work, everyone. All right, go ahead. Maybe draw your knees closer towards the center of the mat. Cross your feet over. We're going to sit ourselves down. Yay. Extend those legs out in front of you and carefully lay down on your back. Coming towards the end of our practice. If you can, make your way down to your back. Use those abs so you can extend your hands forward, shoulders released away from your ears. As you, with control, lower yourself down as slow as possible, one vertebrae at a time. And take a moment, just breathe here, melt into your mat, come into your Savasana. So really ask yourself how you can relax. Maybe you reposition through the shoulders to get as much of the shoulders flat on the mat, arms in close by your side, heels close towards each other, toes fall open. Next up, we're going to do one of my favorite postures, hopefully yours too, wind removing pose. Not only is it great for getting a little bit of digestion going, one of my favorite parts about it is the anti-arthritic grip, which I literally do this grip while I'm sitting around watching television. So take the toes of the left foot, flex them towards your face to get your left calf muscle flat on the floor, and left leg is straight down the mat, so your heel is in line with that hip. We're going to draw the right leg up. You can bring it out towards the side to avoid your rib cage, and then interlace all 10 fingers all the way up towards the webbing and place them on top of your shin. And then start to pull. If you can't get your hands on top of your shin, go ahead and just interlace your hands underneath of the calf. Do your best. But we're not tenting the hands and fingertips. They're nice and flat on that leg. So draw it out towards the side and then up towards your right shoulder. Check in with your left shoulder. Did it roll up off of the mat? Is your left calf muscle still touching the mat, or can you flex those toes back towards your face? As you pull on your shin, there's a gentle pressure of your shin into your hands palms, and hopefully you feel that start to activate the belly. You're getting a nice squeeze right here on your ascending colon. Keep the back of your head flat on the mat, maybe chin slightly tucked towards your chest, and 2 more breaths right here. On your exhale, carefully send that right leg down to meet with the left. Bring your heels side by side so that your body is in a nice line. And then flex your right toes up towards your face. Right heel just about in line with that right hip. Draw your left leg up. Pardon me, Uncle Buck. Maybe out towards the side to avoid your rib cage, and then interlace all 10 fingers once again as you draw that left knee up towards your left shoulder. Roll that right shoulder down towards the mat and start to pull. Pull your knee towards your chest. It does not have to come to your shoulder. Mine is not there. And then start to press your shin into your hands palms. It's the pressing of your shin while you're pulling on it that's going to activate this time the lower left side of your abdomen, your descending colon. which is why I always say to stimulate the right side first. So elbows start to stretch down towards the hip, toes flexing back towards your face. Take one more big inhale. And on your exhale, release. Sorry, Uncle Buck. Okay, both legs would come all the way down, and then you draw both legs up. You're going to want to get a nice tight grip. So as tight as you can. Maybe you come back to that interlaced fingers. Maybe you can grab hold of your opposite wrist. Maybe you're feeling real flexible today. You can grab hold of your opposite elbow. Maybe you're feeling really tight and you can just place one hand on top of each shin, and that's okay, but squeeze those legs together and make sure your feet are just relaxed side by side. So we work the ascending colon, the descending colon. Now we're giving a little bit of love to the transverse colon. Really find a stretch through the crown of your head to the wall behind you as you stretch your coccyx towards the mat, towards the end of the room. This time, really give yourself double, triple chins. Work to get that spine flat on the mat, all the way from your lower back up through the neck. One more big inhale, and on your exhale, release. Go ahead, keep those knees bent. Bring the soles of the feet to the floor nice and slowly, a little extra secret ab work. And then open your legs out towards the side. I'm even going to lift my hips for a second. To open legs out towards the side. Now, if this is too much of a stretch with your heels close towards the center line of your body, you can think about using your props and placing a prop underneath the outside of your legs. And if you didn't have a prop that you could easily access, just bringing those toes closer towards the end of the mat can make it a lot easier. Oh, my buddy, I love you. To hang out in this reclined bound angle. We'll stay here for just about 2 minutes before we come into our final Savasana. So just a little more time together, but you have a lot more time to remind yourself, I am amazing. And I'm so glad I made this time for myself today. I'm worth it. I am super awesome. And I'm totally worthy of this me time. Scan your body from head to toe while you're here. Notice where you might be creating a little extra squeeze. Is it in your eyes or eyebrows? Is it in your mouth or your neck? Can you relax through the back of your neck, your shoulders, your chest, your upper back? Can you take some of the tightness out of your chest? Relaxing your belly, your lower back. So much of our tension and emotion gets stored in the hips. We're opening it up right now. We're saying, be free. Get out of here, tension. Just letting it go. Relaxing your fingers and your toes. And if you're still feeling any tension in those spaces, use that same positive thought that we've had with our awesome mantra today and think about inhaling, sending some lightness, some space into your tired hands or back, shoulders, wherever it is that you might just be feeling those feelings right now. Take your time, just extend those legs out nice and long as we come into our final Savasana. We're going to spend 4 full minutes here in complete stillness and silence. If you have not experienced eyes closed yet today, now is your time. Tell yourself, I am amazing. I am so worth this right now. On your next inhale, take a gentle lift of the corners of your mouth towards your eyes. You're welcome to stay here in this final Savasana for as long as feels right for you today. I'm sure you did an amazing job in creating this final stillness because you are amazing and you are so worth all of the time that you invested in today's practice. If you would like to close out class together, make your way to a seated position. Move slowly with intention. And when you get to the seated position of your choice, find that lift from the crown of your head. Inhale those arms all the way up overhead. Bring your palms together and exhale, bring your palms down to heart center. Thumbs touching on your sternum, tuck your chin to your chest. As you bow to yourself, thank you all so much for coming today. I hope you feel lighter and with better energy already. If you have any questions or concerns about anything that I said or we did, please reach out till we are together again. Be good to yourself. Think good thoughts. Speak good words. Eat good foods. Do good deeds. Take that time to nourish yourself from the inside out, like you did today, because you are amazing and you are worth the investment. Know that the light within me honors, sees, and is so thankful for the light within you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.